Hey yo, what up, Renzo Gang? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Now today is not a reaction video today, y'all. I told y'all I was gonna keep coming back with more of these real life videos, giving advice, real life stuff and what people dealing with. Today, I finally decided that I'm gonna talk about I wasn't gonna do this topic, but I'm gonna talk about it anyway, because I really, someone out there needs to be guided. So I guess I'm gonna try to give the best advice I can. And this is gonna be, about my fellas, how to treat your woman right. And before I start this video, make sure y'all hit the like button, share, subscribe, and also turn your post notification bell on so you'll be first to get your videos. And by all means, I'm not judging nobody as I'm doing this video, and I'm not being a hypocrite. That's why I didn't really want to do this type of video, but I really feel like it's necessary because I'm pretty sure it's a guy out there, he's feeling a woman out, he's feeling a woman. And he's probably too nervous or shy to, talk to her. So I'm gonna try to give the best advice I can because I've been there before. So I've been there. So with that being said, Renzo Gang, especially this is for my fellas right here. All right, so fellas, I understand, if you really like a female or whatever, sometimes you gotta, step outside the box. You gotta get out your comfort zone. Something like you gotta be a man and you know go to the woman and be confident in yourself. Because I'm telling you, like a lot of us, not just men, women too. A lot of us we fear rejection. I'm telling you, like we all fear rejection. And to be honest with you, yeah, it does not feel good to be rejected. And I used to be that person that, I feared rejection. I didn't want to look stupid. I didn't want to be, embarrassed. And I didn't want to get put in the friend zone. And a lot of times, especially in this generation loves to throw everybody in the friend zone and then they love to, date a dog on a stranger, which is the most stupidest thing in the world to me. That's why I personally like anytime a woman will put me in a friend zone, I'm like, you might as well go ahead and lose my number or block me, whatever. I can do the same because I don't need all these friends. I really don't. I don't need 30 female friends coming to me crying to me making the same stupid decisions blah 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 blah. But anyway, that's besides the point. But now, fellas, to be honest with you, just be yourself. Don't be awkward. Don't be weird, and have confidence in yourself. And don't come off so aggressive and strong on a woman, and kind of and this is what works for me, when I how I get women interested in me, be mysterious, don't be so loud, don't be so talkative, let your actions speak, because at the end of the day, women like a man, to show action than talking, if that makes sense, if that makes sense. A lot of women they like to see a man that perform results than doing all of this, because at the end of the day they're going to look at you and think like you doing all of this. A lot of times like they going to think that you're too cocky, or you're full of yourself, and they're going to think that you're a very conceited man, and they don't like stuff like that. That turns them away. So be a little mysterious, but don't be weird with it. Be a little mysterious. Don't come off so strong either. Like, don't be so aggressive when you're trying to talk to a woman. Be smooth with it. And of course, don't be overly sexual. Don't do that. Don't do that. Be, you know, be smooth with it. Make a woman, smile a little bit, blush here and there. And 9 times out of 10, they probably won't give you the number. They'll probably give you their Instagram. Like mostly everyone, we just don't exchange numbers like that no more. We just, exchange Instagrams or social medias. So, you know, just be smooth with it. Also, fellas, If you are trying to pursue a woman for the love of God, please, and I say this to every man out here, get your hygiene under control. Don't no woman want no man coming up to them smelling like, you know, smelling like cigarettes, loud, weed, all of that. Don't no woman want that. Now, fellas, I'm gonna put y'all on game a little bit because when it comes to the fragrances, personally, I don't like to use sprays because I have bad allergies and it messes me up. I prefer to use body oils. For example, I have a whole bunch of body oils. I have a bunch of body oils. And to be honest with you, this stuff lasts me all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it don't bother my allergies. So I prefer to use body oils. But if you guys want to use the sprays, that cool. That's up to you. And most likely, I would say if you're gonna get the sprays, try not to get the hard smelling sprays. Like get like a fresh or smooth smelling smell. Women don't really like man that's deep, don't smell too strong. They like a man that smells smooth, that that she wants to like literally be in your skin. You know what I'm saying? Like get you some smooth smells, some fresh smells, because like the hard smells, it kind of reminds you of the Axe body spray. That's why I don't like using no type of no hardcore smelling cologne. I like to use the fresh smelling cologne. Where the women, they come up on you and you know, you know what I'm trying to say, fellas. Also, comb your hair, get a haircut, make sure your beards are good. Because I wash my beard and I use beard butter. Sometimes I'll use some beard oil, but I use beard butter. And sometimes I use leave-in conditioner for my beard. That's why my beard, is always, looking, fresh and and it leaves a good, smell to mine. Today I got on beard butter. Normally I normally use my olive oil my olive oil flavored leave-in conditioner for my beard, for it to smell good. And of course, I wash my beard, I wash my face, brush my teeth. You just gotta, like, fellas, y'all got to learn to keep your hygiene under control. That's the number one thing. Dress to impress. Be confident within yourself. Go to the gym. Of course, go to the gym, eat right. Do what you got to do. Some women, they like guys with the dad bods, which is I've always thought that was weird. Normally women, they want a man, that's Jack Diesel, but some women like the dad bods, what I mean? Hey, that's their preference, whatever. Also, fellas, please cut your fingernails. And if you're gonna wash your hands, wash it. Well, not if wash your hands, and then also if you're gonna wash your hands, make sure you scrub your nails too. Like, get your nails cut. I ain't saying, get manicures and pedicures. I ain't saying all that now. I ain't doing all that. But, make sure you're presentable. Also, like, you know, sometimes women they want to see a man, with hard working hands, with calluses, whatever. But I'm gonna make sure I take care of myself. Like my skin is smooth. I put on lotion, especially after I get out the shower. You know, Also make sure y'all please take a shower. Like fellas, please. Women do not want no musty, stinking smelling guys. Trust me. That's where a lot of y'all lose the women because of y'all hygiene. I'm telling you, that's why a lot of y'all lose women, your hygiene, and y'all come up looking raggedy and bummy. And 9 times out of 10, like then stop chasing women. Like let them come to you. Especially, like I've said before, when you are when you got a lot of stuff going on for yourself, and you handling business, women they'll gravitate to you. Because 9 times out of 10, I have a lot going on, my job, and I go to the gym, and I haven't been in my martial arts training in a while. But once I get back into that, and on top of that, I have my YouTube channel, as you see. I don't really have time to mess with a lot of women. I don't. I got stuff I have to do. I have responsibilities. But when women come to me, they come to me, because they see that I'm working hard, you know, I don't have time to play around. A lot of y'all just hanging out, that's not, women are not impressed by that. And also, fellas, don't fall into don't fall into that trap of cash apping these women. If they gotta ask you for, cash app or whatever, leave them alone. And that's where a lot of y'all be simping at. Stop doing that. Stop trying to send money to these women that y'all don't know. And also, fellas, another word of advice: say, and if you do get the woman that you want, right? I cannot stress this enough. Plan stuff. Plan stuff. Get the woman some flowers. Get her stuff that she likes. She shouldn't have to tell you to get her some flowers, plan dates. I mean, for goodness sake, like, get her, like, if she likes Starbucks, like, get her favorite, whatever they do at Starbucks. I don't go to Starbucks, so I don't know. I've never been with a woman that likes Starbucks, so I don't know. Like, get her favorite Frappuccino, whatever, like, without her even having to ask. 9 times out of 10, you know how I do it, fellas? I do it like this. If there's a woman that I'm pursuing or want to pursue, 9 times out of 10, she don't even have to ask me, to get like certain stuff, or I don't have to ask, like, what's your favorite thing? Because 9 times out of 10, if you pay attention, fellas, I'm gonna put y'all on game. If you pay attention, they're gonna post the stuff that they like on social media. You just have to be that guy to be actually observant and pay attention, and you know, memorize that stuff. Because 9 times out of 10, like, one day you just surprise her with it. I'm telling you, like, they're gonna feel good, and they're gonna feel like they have they like the women also love for us to pay attention to them. Like, I'm telling you, like, anytime a woman, post something, or say something, and she don't, especially if I'm around, and she says that she likes such and such and such, 9 times out of 10 I'm listening, but she don't know that I'm listening. And then when the time comes, and to surprise her with the stuff that she wants, that's how I get them. That's what y'all have to be, adventurous. Y'all have to get out of your comfort zone. Like, y'all have to plan stuff. Like, fellas, I can't stress that enough. Plan stuff. A woman shouldn't have to want you, like, a woman shouldn't have to, beg you to do this, that, and the third. Like, how old are we, fellas? How old are we? They shouldn't have to beg you to do this, that, and the third. And I'm not fussing at y'all, but at the same time, y'all gotta learn to get this. Cause I'm telling you, like, I get so sick and tired of women saying, like, they shouldn't have to beg, I shouldn't have to say this, that, and the third, or I shouldn't have to, like, fellas, y'all should already be on game, especially if it's a woman that you are going after and you really want her. Like, bruh, you have to impress this woman. I'm not saying, put this woman on a pedestal and worship her. I'm not saying that at all. Trust and believe me, women do not like that. I'm not telling you to do that. No, you just have to really, if you, what's the thing my generation say? If he could, he would, or whatever, however you word that. If he wanted to, he would. Yeah, that's it. That's it. If he wanted to, he would. Trust me, fellas, if you want to, you would. And also plan something, based off of her personality. See, me, I would do something like that. I would plan a date based off a woman's personality. Like, if a woman is like very, outdoorish, and she loves nature, I would plan a picnic date for that woman. Or if a woman is, if she's a fun woman and she loves to go out and have fun, I would plan something like Top Golf, or a fair date. Y'all can go, win her a teddy bear or something at the fair, or an amusement park or water park, something like that. And also, you know, dates don't always have to be expensive. It's just the thought that counts. I'm not saying take a girl to Ruth Chris, or a Cheesecake Factory, because I've never been to that, and I probably won't ever want to go to that, which I really care less about that. But just it don't always have to be expensive. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Shoot, you could just plan like a little movie night at your place or her place. Say if y'all are together, just plan like a good movie night, little movie slash picnic night, whatever you want to call it. You know, order some pieces, like bring her favorite foods and snacks, and throw a little, you know what I'm saying, like little Uno card in there. Just have some fun with her. I'm telling you, y'all have got to, y'all got to, y'all got to grow up, man. And I really shouldn't have to be telling y'all this, but I see this a lot, especially in my generation. Y'all have got to get it together. Like, get it together, y'all. Especially if it's a woman that you want, you have to go all out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to go all out. And everyone, and I don't care how smooth you think you are, or how fresh you think you are. Everyone has been rejected once in their lives. I don't care who you think you are. Like, you ain't Mr. Untouchable. Trust me, you've been rejected some point in your life. So don't think you're invincible, because you're not gonna be for every woman. Just like every woman's not gonna be for you. Like, I've turned down women before. I've been turned down plenty of times. And at the end of the day, like, I really can care less. But especially if you feel like she's the right one, get to know her. Like, get to know her. Ask certain questions. Like, what, ask questions. Pursue her in the most smoothest way you can. Like, don't be aggressive. Don't show no signs of red flags. Please don't. Like, just don't do it. And also this, y'all. Please stop with the whole zodiac sign thing. Please. I'm getting out of that mess, because at the end of the day, it's stupid. Get out of the whole zodiac sign thing, please. Please get out of that. It's really crazy how we really letting our zodiac signs determine, like, oh, I can't stand that person. At the end of the day, it's really stupid at the end of the day. I wish I never would have gotten to that mess. It's really stupid, because 9 times out of 10, you're blocking your blessing. That's why I'm trying to get out of that mess. I wish I never knew about the zodiac signs, to be honest with you. At the end of the day, it's really stupid. And oh yeah, also, fellas, I also want to say this as well. Back, piggyback off, go back to the flowers thing. Women, they love flowers. Sometimes a woman could be allergic. Just get like a little background. See if she's allergic to anything. Ask certain questions like that. And if she's not allergic to flowers, like, just kind of do a little research. If you don't want to ask her, what kind of flowers do you like and whatnot. If you want to be, mysterious and spontaneous, and surprise her with stuff, do some research. That's what I do. Because a lot of women out there, they love roses, they love sunflowers, they love tulips, daisies, whatever. You just have to like really, you have to like really try to know this woman. Especially if you really like her, you have to try to know this woman. Like, you have to like really study. I'm not saying she's your woman, but if you putting out there in the universe that you want this woman, study your woman. That's what I would do. I'm gonna study this woman. I'm gonna make sure I try to do everything out in my power to make sure this woman is happy, because 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna get the same in return. And try not to, you know, go with a selfish woman. Go with someone that that's got a lot going for herself. That's smart, respectful, that worships God. And another thing, what we miss out on, y'all like have to, sometimes it can be uncomfortable, but talk about, the religious part, like, what did that person believe in? Because that's gonna become a big thing. Some people are not religious, some people are spiritual, some people are atheists, some people, it just, you just have that conversation. And have a lot of uncomfortable, you gotta learn to have a lot of uncomfortable conversations with that person. Believe me, I know the feeling. I know I don't like having uncomfortable conversations with a woman, with anybody, but that's just me. You have to have that talk, because like, at the end of the day, that's what's going to make or break the relationship, or whatever you want to call it. And also, fellas, I'm gonna also say this as well. And if you're gonna, date multiple women, I personally would be honest about that, especially if you want to see, who's, matches your personality. I would say, what? I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm dating around just to see, who I want, and 9 times out of 10, if this work out between us, we can have another date, something like that, be honest, fellas. Y'all have got to stop playing and be honest with these women out here. I'm telling you, you got to be honest. And if you're gonna date, multiple women just to see what you want, I wouldn't recommend taking them to the same exact same spot that you took them to. Like, be different. Be different. That's something I would do. Be different. If one day I take a woman, to, you know, say something like, for example, Applebee's. I'm not gonna take another woman to the same spot. I'm not doing that. We'll probably go to Dave and Buster's, get some hot wings. You know what I'm saying? And another woman do something like a wine tasting event, or go to Comic-Con, something. Just be different. Go to the movies, anything. Just be different. Like, there's a lot of stuff that y'all can do and that y'all can like take from this. But fellas, like, if there's a woman out there that you really, really, really want to pursue, and you're scared to, just remember, just be yourself. Be confident within yourself. If she's not, if you're not the one that she wants, it's okay. It's a lot of people out here for you. And I want to say this as well. Me personally, me fellas, I don't discriminate. I don't. I really don't discriminate. I like what I like. When it comes to women, I like what I like. As long as you respect me, as long as you fear God, I don't care about that. I don't discriminate. But and also, fellas, don't be toxic. Don't be ignorant. Don't be belligerent. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you're going to take the girl out on a date, pay the doggone bill. Don't be talking about splitting no check. Come on, man. Don't do that. And please, fellas, another thing I cannot stress this enough. Stop trying to get them to go home with you. They don't know you. Stop doing that. Please, for the love of God, stop doing that. They don't know you. And don't get mad because they don't want to go home with you. Like, that's weird. Like, bruh, stop doing that. Like, you don't know that girl. Like, she could be a serial killer for all we know. She could think you're a serial killer. Stop doing that, fellas. Like, y'all got to think. Stop doing that. Get y'all the wrong head out of the situation. Like, I'm telling you, man, it's embarrassing. What I see my brothers out here are doing. Like, it's embarrassing. And y'all make it hard for, I'm not putting myself on a pedestal, but good men like me to find a good woman. You know, it it's ridiculous at this point, you know. And also, fellas, please don't talk to the if the girl turns you down, don't go for her home girl, because 9 out of 10 they're going to talk, and that's not a good idea. It's just don't do that. Don't just don't. Um. Oh yeah, make sure keep up your hygiene. And fellas, if you want to, if you don't want to use the sprays, you can always look up where you find body oils. You can always you like here where I live at, we have a kiosk at the mall where they sell body oils, and you could just go over there, get the type of smells that you want, and like they'll ask you like what kind of smells do you like, and if you like this, and you can also mix them up. Uh, this one is called Izzy Miyake. This is a pretty good smell. I have another one called Givenchy Pie. That's like a fresh, smooth smell. Like that's probably like one of my favorite colognes. Like I only like body oils. I only wear that one at night. That's like a night type of body oil. And I have another one called James Bond 007. Like I like boy and Black Stone. I be wearing that at work, and every time I go to work, one be like, "Oh, you smell so good," and I'm like, "Oh yeah." And it feels good when a woman tell you that you smell good. That's a good feeling, man. I'm telling you, that's a good feeling. Don't overdo it with the fragrances. Just dab a little right here. Rub it in. Get your neck. Rub it in. If you want it on your clothes, you can do that. Because I'm telling you, the body oils, they last a long time. Like the smell lasts in your clothes a long time. Also, of course, brush your teeth. Wash your hair in the shower. Wash your beards, especially fellas. Wash your beards. Please wash your beards. Make sure your skin is shining and you know moisturized. Like moisturize your skin. Women look at stuff like that. And fellas, another thing, please stop trying to talk to women at the doggone gas station. That's weird. That's always been weird to me. Like, stop trying to holler at women at the gas station, bro. Please stop. Like, a lot of stuff that y'all do is very embarrassing. It really is. And a lot of times I see why women hate us sometimes. Like, it's very embarrassing. Like, seriously, stop doing that. You know, it's not a good look. Not a good look. Oh yeah, and also, fellas, what was I lost my train of thought. It'll come back to me in a second. And also, if you don't have a car, don't try to pursue a woman. Make sure you have a vehicle, so you can court them anywhere. Especially, 9 times out of 10, women probably might not feel comfortable, getting in the car with you. They'll probably want to meet you somewhere. 9 times out of 10, meet them somewhere. Make sure you have a vehicle or a ride, period. Make sure you have your own vehicle. And I also just want to say this, fellas, you know, be kind to women. You just don't know what they've dealt with in the past, with other men. You just don't know. Like you just be kind to them, be sweet to them. Like I'm telling you, a woman loves a man that's very sweet to them. Be smooth. Don't be corny. Don't be a lame and be corny. Like be smooth with your words, find the right things to say, don't do too much. Just find the right words to say to them, make them feel good and make them smile through a text message. Because 9 times out of 10, especially when y'all texting, you know, ask them how their day was. Like give them, some, some encouragement, to keep them going because you never know what they're dealing with, in the workplace or if you're dating a single mom. 9 times out of 10, it may not work for you. If you're dating a single mom that's got kids, you have to understand and realize the kids come first before you do. So if you don't want to deal with a single mom, don't date a woman with kids, period. Because it's just not going to work for you. Like, because you're going to want all of her time and she can't give you all of her time. And if you are dating a single mom or trying to pursue a single mom and she has free time, do not waste their time. Don't do it. Don't waste their time because you will never hear from them again. That's never happened to me, but I'm just saying, don't do that. And also, fellas, if you're trying to plan a date for a woman, ask them what their schedule's like. Like, stop saying, asking them when can I see you? Like ask them, like what's your schedule like? Are you available around this time? Especially if they're busy, ask them what their schedule is. Say something like, hey, are you going to be busy, that, and the third? Or like, do you think that you'll be available to, get some lunch with me or something, or go on like a little picnic, go on a little outing just to, take your mind off this, that, and the third? Do something like that, just stop always asking them like like what you doing. Stop doing that, bro. And also stop asking, when am I gonna see you? When am I gonna see you? Like, bro, chill out, chill out. Like I said, ask them what their schedule's like. Whenever they're free, plan something, ahead of time. Especially if you know that you're gonna do something with this woman on, this specific date. Plan something ahead of time. But also make sure you get confirmation. And then if something changes to where, say for example, okay, I'm gonna give you an example. If you want to go on a picnic date with a woman, right? And you pick the perfect, day to go. And say for example, if if the park is, messed up, due to, I guess if they're closed for whatever reason, or if it's raining, you know, call an audible, make a pivot, you know, go, plan a date somewhere else, plan it at her place, ask her if it's okay, if you want to, plan the picnic date at her place. Still bring the snacks, bring her favorite things, you know, make sure she's not allergic to anything. Like, y'all gotta learn to, think on your feet. A lot of times dates are not gonna be, what you thought it was. I had to kind of learn that the hard way. They're not gonna be what you think they are. Sometimes you have to kind of think on your feet. You have to, like, if things happen, you have to learn to, kind of pivot a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You have to kind of learn to, like, hey, maybe this might not work this day, so if we have to, schedule the picnic date for another time, we can do that, but we can still have the date. But, you know, you get what I'm saying. Just, you got to think on your feet. You gotta be quick with it. You gotta be smooth with it. If plans change, don't cancel on her. Don't do that. Don't cancel on her, because you're gonna waste her time, and it's gonna, upset her, and you probably never gonna hear from her again. Trust me. Just don't cancel. Just, try to keep the date, but if it has to go to a different location, just change it, or, just do something. Especially if she planned to, be off work or something like that for you, you know, you might want to put in the effort and don't waste her time. 9 times out of 10, like, and if you're trying to plan a date or something like that, fellas, don't stress it. Because 9 times out of 10, it's the thought that counts. Don't stress it, because if a woman see that, you at least putting in the effort to, want to spend time with them, trust and believe me, they will appreciate it. Trust me. You know, and 9 times out of 10, bring flowers. A woman loves flowers. Let her know that you think about her. Let her know that, I appreciate you, wanting to do this date with me, and I really like you. I want, hopefully we can have more dates, later on in the future. Don't move so fast, just be smooth with it, be easy, be gentle. Don't be a nonchalant person. A lot of women do not like a nonchalant man. They don't like that. So don't be nonchalant. If y'all got things in common, you know what I'm saying, like, keep it classy, you know what I'm saying? Just keep a woman interested. You have to keep her interested. Like, don't just text her out of the blue, And also, fellas, communication is key. Communicate. If you know you're gonna be busy, let her know that you're gonna be busy. Like, don't disappear hours later and then, text her like, hey, what you doing? Like, bro, don't do that. You're gonna lose them so fast. It's not even funny. You gotta learn to communicate as well, fellas. And I'm pretty sure I probably gave the most advice I can give, but if I can think of some more, I'll probably do a part two. So with that being said, fellas, I really hope someone, got a good, message out of this video. And if you want to pursue that girl, go pursue her, because 9 times out of 10, someone else probably pursuing her and they're probably moving faster than you are, and you're gonna regret it and you're gonna be upset about it. You probably miss out on your blessing. And if she's not the one for you, then, just move on. Don't be hostile with it. Just move on. So with that being said, fellas, post some comments down below. Let me know what you thought. If you really like this video, hit that like button, share, and subscribe, and also turn that post notification bell on so you be first to get your videos, fellas. I'm doing this for y'all, like, because I'm tired of us, looking like fools out here. You feel me? So with that being said, all right, Renzo Gang, holla at y'all later.